Welcome everyone to today's webinar, and we are thrilled to have with us today Bergen Hubert from Cradle to Cradle Products Innovation Institute, the third in our series of our version 3 launch starting in September and featuring the partners whose APIs we've integrated in this release, including Declare from ILFI and now Bergen from Cradle to Cradle Products Innovation Institute. And in the interim, we heard from Rodolfo from the International Well Building Institute talking about the Well Standard version 2. And we're going to touch on that as well. The agenda for today is pretty simple. We're going to do a quick introduction to Sustainable Minds and the Transparency Catalog for those of you who have not met us before. Then we're going to turn it over to Bergen to talk about the Cradle to Cradle Products Innovation Institute and the certifications that come out of that institute. And then I'll do a demo of the Transparency Catalog and talk about what's new in version 3 and demo those new features and show you how easy it is to find manufacturers who have Cradle to Cradle certified products and access to those certifications. We'll talk a little bit about how those certifications help architects, engineers, contractors, and owners earn credits in the various green building rating systems that you might be working to get your buildings certified to. This is being recorded. We'll make that recording available to you in the next day or two in a follow-up email, and you'll be able to also request the deck if that's something that you like. Please put your questions in the questions panel and we'll get to answering those. And if we don't, we'll definitely send follow-up messages to you. So anything you'd like to know, we're going to be sure to get answered. So those of you who are meeting Sustainable Minds and me for the first time, I'm Terry Swack. I'm the founder and CEO. And Sustainable Minds is a cloud software provider of product transparency applications and services. I founded the company in 2007. We are a for-profit mission-based company. So we represent in the Venn diagram of sustainability, environmental, social, and economically viable. We're in that Venn diagram space because we believe, according to our mission, that is what will drive revenue and growth through greener product innovation. So in the company, we've got deep expertise in life cycle assessment and material ingredient assessment, deep expertise in customer experience strategy, information design, and building easy-to-use cloud software tools. We're also a program operator, which helps us deliver end-to-end services. So manufacturers can come to us and we can create product category rules for them to create EPDs if they don't exist for their category. We can deliver LCA and material evaluation services. And we produce our own version of an EPD. We call it a transparency report, which is the first EPD delivered in the cloud. We believe everything should be delivered in the cloud and data should be available to be used in other kinds of tools. So we're working hard to move away from delivering content in PDFs and to make all the content that's been generated by building product manufacturers to be transparent. We're working to make all of that content, all the manufacturers and all of that content available to the AEC industry in one place in the Transparency Catalog, free to use, no login, so that we can continue to drive acceleration in the growth of high performance buildings. So let's talk about product transparency for just a minute and what is it really? They are 2 performance criteria, and I'm not even going to say they're that new anymore because product transparency went from an idea that was born when LEED version 4 was drafted and introduced in 2012, and it went from an idea to being adopted early in 2013, 2014. We saw more EPDs starting to get created. In 2015, 2016, there were more material ingredient disclosure programs that developed and were brought to market and ultimately accepted by the green building rating systems. And increasingly, architects, engineers, contractors, and owners really focused on delivering greener and healthier and higher performing buildings are designing according to the green building rating systems, who are rewarding those building product manufacturers for creating environmental and material disclosures. And so those are two key performance criteria that now sit alongside functional performance, aesthetics, cost, all of the things that people have traditionally used to make decisions about products. Now these are two criteria that are also being used to make decisions about products. And when we talk to manufacturers and work with their sales reps and train them about what product transparency is all about, we tell them they need to be as conversant about the environmental performance and material health of their products, just as conversant as they are about all of the other performance criteria that they've had to learn and understand and use in explaining the performance attributes of their products. So doing LCAs and material assessments for a manufacturer, their first goal for using that information is actually to understand where in the life cycle impacts are occurring, or what material ingredients in the product may be presenting exposure concerns or risks and hazards to people, and then be able to take that information and drive that back into product development. It's really their choice to use these technical studies in customer-facing disclosures to then be transparent about what they've learned. And many manufacturers are doing LCAs and material assessments without going back and taking the recommendations or the learning from those disclosures to drive performance improvements. They're simply being transparent now and sharing that information. And it's really important to understand that for manufacturers to do this, it's really hard. It takes a lot of time. It's really expensive. It's risky for them to be transparent. They're doing something they haven't done before, so there's a big learning curve. And as a result, Sustainable Minds has always wanted to shine the light on those manufacturers who have taken the plunge and are doing the work and taking the risk, and then be able to present those manufacturers to the AEC community to say, look, these folks are doing the work. They're responding to the request to be transparent. Now it's incumbent upon you to select and specify their products, because if you don't, they aren't incentivized to continue to be transparent. But the good news is there's no turning back. Product transparency has gone from an idea to early mainstream, and now it's a specification requirement, and actual performance matters. So those manufacturers who have invested in transparency are understanding that it's not enough just to have a technical disclosure. They need to be able to explain what that information means. And because actual performance matters, and now optimization and improvements are being rewarded in the green building rating systems, many manufacturers are already on to their next generation disclosures. And what you're going to hear today from Bergen is how Cradle to Cradle Certified Products is the only technical disclosure program where a key part of that analysis is to create an optimization path. So manufacturers are not just understanding what they're doing now, they're given that technical knowledge about where they need to go. So the Sustainable Minds Transparency Catalog, and what we've been trying to do since day one when we launched it in 2016, is to revolutionize product selection and specification to grow revenue and brand value for building product manufacturers by making it super, super easy for their customers to be able to find their brand and their products, now organized by MasterFormat, because there are enough building product manufacturers across enough MasterFormat divisions to make it possible to select pretty much every product or material you're going to need in a building. You're going to be able to find brands who have invested in transparency, and ultimately it's going to be important to help those manufacturers make their investments pay off, and at the same time moving the needle on building actually higher performing buildings. So we're going to do a demo in a little bit, and at this point I'm going to turn it over to Bergen to talk about the Cradle to Cradle Products Innovation Institute.
Great. Thank you, Terry. That was a wonderful context setting, and appreciate the accurate representation of Cradle to Cradle certification in this landscape. So many thanks, and thanks to Sustainable Minds more broadly for having me today, and to all of you joining during your lunch break here on the East Coast. If you're on the West Coast, your morning coffee. I am in South Central Pennsylvania, so I am watching the snowfall from the big snowstorm. So hopefully my Wi-Fi makes it through for the next 20 minutes or so. So as Terry mentioned, my name is Bergen Hubert, and I am the Built Environment Manager for the Americas region at the Cradle to Cradle Products Innovation Institute. I've dedicated my life and pretty short career to working to protect the welfare of humans and the environment, and I thankfully work for an organization that fundamentally strives to do that as well. Specifically at the Institute, I work with building product manufacturers, members of the A&D community, owners and developers to try to increase the number of Cradle to Cradle certified products and also specifications, but more broadly, just safe and circular materials in the built environment. So today I will just briefly introduce the Institute, our certification program, and then I'm going to pass it back off to Terry to demo how you can actually find Cradle to Cradle certified products and materials in the transparency catalog for your next project. So when the Cradle to Cradle Products Innovation Institute was founded 10 years ago, it was on the promise of a very bold vision. A world where safe materials and products are designed and manufactured to maximize health and well-being for people and the planet. Now, 10 years later, this vision seems even more relevant, with well-being and health becoming essential parts of sustainable living. You may ask, why did we decide to focus our work on kind of the product or material level? And I would ask you to look in the room around you. How many building or consumer products are you currently being exposed to? The fact is, materials are ubiquitous, and they're the fabric of our built environment. From building materials to interior design, such as flooring or furniture, these materials may also expose you to harmful chemicals, many of which have never been assessed for the impact it may have on your health or the environment. So it's really through the deliberate selection of safe materials, architects, project teams, but also employers and even tenants have the ability to reduce human exposure to toxic chemicals and make spaces and communities healthier. So how do we ensure that building materials and products meet this criteria? At the Institute, we set the global standard in really a unified language for materials and products that are safe, circular, and made responsibly. The Cradle to Cradle Certified Product Standard is science-based and multi-attribute, and it's really designed to guide manufacturers and brands to innovate and optimize materials and products for a positive impact on people and the planet. This is done by ensuring materials are safe for humans and the environment, enabling a circular economy through product and process design, generating clean energy and protecting the climate, safeguarding air, water, and soil resources, and embracing safe and fair and equitable labor practices that advance human rights and strong communities. So material health is really the critical building block for creating safe and circular building materials. To help companies ensure the material health of their products, the Cradle Certified material health methodology helps companies identify and begin the process of finding safer substitutions for chemicals of concern, moving products through a continuous improvement process until products at the highest level of certification contain no known toxins or even potentially toxic ingredients, and are essentially comprised of completely green chemistry. So now that the product has been assessed and optimized for compatibility with humans and the environment, we can now start to consider it and its materials capacity to be perpetually cycled through the highest and best channels of use and reuse. This eliminates the concept of waste through the design and manufacture of products and materials that continually retain and generate value from one life cycle to the next. So the aim of the clean air and climate protection category is to ensure product manufacturing results in a positive impact on the renewable energy supply and the balance of climate changing greenhouse gases. From a triple bottom line perspective, manufacturers can also benefit from potential cost savings of improved resource and energy efficiencies, but it's also designing for reuse not only ensures the retention of the materials itself, but it also has significant impact on the carbon footprint of the product. The aim of the water and soil stewardship category is to recognize water as a valuable resource by encouraging effective management and use strategies during final stage manufacturing. Also to ensure watersheds are protected and clean water is available. And finally, the social fairness category. The aim of this category is to design business operations that honor all people and natural resources affected by the manufacture, use, disposal, and then the reuse of the product. I wanted to briefly review these 5 categories to really illustrate assurance. Material selection can be challenging for many reasons, but safety, equity, and environmental responsibility cannot be compromised. The ability to confidently use products that do not pose human and environmental risk is critical for a better built environment. And Terry was alluding to this earlier around our continuous improvement pathway and optimization strategy. To earn certification for a product, companies work with an independent third-party assessor to determine a product's achievement level across those 5 categories. The product is then assigned a level in each category. The lowest level of achievement among the 5 categories determines the product overall score. In order to renew certification, a company must demonstrate efforts to improve the product's performance in one or more of those categories. By awarding certification on the basis of ascending levels of achievement, we're encouraging and ultimately rewarding continuous improvement over time. In addition to the rigorous cradle-to-cradle certification that I just outlined across the 5 categories, we offer what is called a material health certificate, which demonstrates a product achievement in just the material health category. Just like the material health assessment during a full cradle-to-cradle certification, a material is inventoried, screened, assessed, and then optimized for both human and environmental health. As you can see here, the built environment is a very important sector for Cradle-to-Cradle Certified, and it has really demonstrated leadership in Cradle-to-Cradle design adoption. Building materials, interior design, furniture, and office supply represent the largest percentage of Cradle-to-Cradle certified products. Around 70% of all of our certified products are considered in the built environment. Click here, sorry. There we go. The statistics for the material health certificate are closely mirrored to those of the full Cradle-to-Cradle certification, with again, almost 70% in the built environment. So we're continuing our work with partnering organizations to create pathways to better access data in our certifications themselves, like with Sustainable Minds. We support disclosure efforts and the use of verified data to help manufacturers optimize their products. We'll continue this alignment work with leading building standards like LEED and WELL, and product databases such as the Transparency Catalog with the release of our version 4 next year. I specifically wanted to drill into LEED and WELL here. With LEED version 4.1, Cradle to Cradle certified products can be used by project teams to meet both option 1, material ingredient reporting, and option 2, material ingredient optimization of the building product disclosure and optimization for a material ingredient credit. Some of you know it as BPDO credit. This optimization recognition is really due to our material health methodology of chemical inventory, assessment, and optimization. I just wanted to point out too, additionally, Cradle to Cradle products are recognized in the new circular products pilot credit. And this is a way to demonstrate achievement in its designed for circularity and its closed loop product categories. Also in the O&M standards, Cradle to Cradle products can be used to meet option 1, ongoing consumables, and option 2, building materials for the purchasing credit in particular. Moving on. And Cradle to Cradle certified products can also be used to meet 3 features within the materials concept of the new WELL version 2 standard: material transparency, material optimization, and cleaning products and protocols. And here's an expanded view of our current recognition, both the material health certificate and the full Cradle to Cradle certification. And this is done by level in which is needed to achieve each credit. This recognition is in alignment with our current version 3.1 standard. And I mentioned earlier, we're working with USGBC and IWBI on the appropriate version 4 recognition. So stay tuned for that next year. Okay, and thank you all for your attention. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you may have around the certification at the close of the webinar. I also provided my email address here if you'd like to reach out to me directly. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to Terry to show you how you can find Cradle to Cradle certified products and materials through the Transparency Catalog platform.
Great. Thank you, Bergen. So it was a big release back in September, our version 3, where we rearranged really the user experience of the catalog and really put MasterFormat filtering combined with a search capability front and center on the front page to support a variety of use cases, from somebody simply browsing for products in a MasterFormat division or section and wanting to find all of the manufacturers in that section who have one or both types of transparency, so just doing research, through the specification phase, where a specifier is actually looking to get very specific about 3 comparative products in a specific MasterFormat section that will meet the rating system criteria, and literally in one click, you're going to see every manufacturer who has products for North America in that MasterFormat section. And it can be further combined again with a search. A user can put in their favorite brand and say, show me all the products from my favorite brand in MasterFormat section X. And in a click, you're going to see everything they've got. So it's all focused really, again, on helping people find exactly what they need as quickly as possible using any pathway or design process that applies to their particular task in any stage of the project's process. So we added some additional filters. Buy Clean California is going to be increasingly important starting next year. We completed the Declare and now the Cradle to Cradle API integration. We have access to more of the 3-part specs for each manufacturer in each of their MasterFormat sections. The transparency catalog is now an option in the GBCI Better Materials. We've built more detailed usage analysis, and that's going to be unveiled actually in January. People are going to be pretty excited about the knowledge that we're going to be sharing with the activity of people coming to the catalog and which MasterFormat sections and divisions are most popular. How are people using the tool? It's going to be really important for manufacturers. And we also organized the rating systems filter by all of the green building rating system credits that reward transparency. You can see now we've pulled out the optimization credits that the C2C certification contributes to, and we've also added now the ability to filter by specifically a disclosure type. If you're not necessarily following the green building rating system, but you have a preference for a specific disclosure type, you're able to filter by that. And you can use any of these filters in any order or in any combination. You can use them when you're looking in a MasterFormat division or section or without that. So I'm just going to jump over here and do a quick demo. So here we are at the front page of the catalog, and here's what I was pointing out was that you can come and you can start by saying, I want to see all the products, say, for example, in Division 7. I want to see all the brands in Division 7. You could select a specific section right now. You could say, oh, I want to see everything in 0720. And you could even put in a brand name. So what you're saying is, I only want to see products in 0720 from a particular brand. You don't have to use the brand filter. You don't have to use the section filter. You could just start a division search. And then you're going to click go. And my internet is a little bit, I guess it's working today. So you can see we've just come into 0720. And so there's 74 brands and 441 products. So it's a very competitive section. And you could certainly page through all the pages and find the brands, or there's a bunch of ways you can use these filters. You could say, well, before I go and start looking into any of these sections, I want to see all the brands that are in this section, and you can select the ones that you just want to see if there's certain brands you like, and just see those results. Or you could say, well, I'm working on my spec for Division 0720, and I'm working on a lead project. So I just want to see all of the brands and products in that section that have an EPD, and then help me earn that credit. And so that's going to filter it down a little bit more. You might say, then I also want to see the ones that are going to earn me the material ingredient credit, because I want to specify products that get me both. That filters it down a little bit more. And you kind of get the gist of it. Now, if I clear the filters, you never have to go back to the front page. You can just stay right here. You might say, I'm really interested in C2C products. So notice I've not selected any MasterFormat section. I can say, I just want to see all the C2C certified products. So I click the C2C certified filter, and now you can see there's 232 brands and 527 products. Again, you can look and see what all the brands are. You can just select which ones those are. But now you can start by saying, all right, well, good, there's a good selection. Maybe now I want to, go to the rating system. If I click the optimization credit, I don't think the results are going to change, because the C2C certification contributes to the optimization credit. At that point, you might want to say, all right, well, let me go back to Division 7 and let's see who in Division 7 has C2C certified products. And you kind of get the gist of it, and finally you can go there and go right to the C2C certificate. So the transparency catalog is free to use. There's no login. That was just a quick demo, but we invite you to go and explore on your own. And let us know how you like it. Send us comments. And now as you leave the webinar, you can go ahead and leave us questions or comments as you exit. And for those of you who want to see it again, you can come back tomorrow, tell your friends. You'll get the recording, but if you want to hear it live again, we're going to be right back here at noon tomorrow. So thank you, Bergen. Thanks everyone for taking time out of your busy day.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.